Fabio, Palma and I studied together at University La Sapienza in Rome about, 30 years ago. Fabio gave me the chance to nostalgically dive into the past. You'll hear about our studies in communication sciences, our first experience with internet and emails, the Erasmus exchange program, and what networking meant back in the 90s when we didn't have social media or any apps. Fabio's academic background has helped him forge his professional skills in leadership, capacity building, networking, building partnerships, and scouting talent. Fabio, you and I, we know each other since a long time. We studied communication sciences together. And then our paths, took us to different ways, even different countries. I'm going to just very briefly look at your profile and see you were head of education and training programs of WWF. You've done capacity building for the European Commission. You've been for a few years a consultant, a freelance in communication and business development. Then you entered IED, became general director, executive officer, and global partnership manager. And today you're head of talent and partnership at the Carrot Collective. So what is the common thread since the days that you studied to where you are today? Not an easy question.
Not an easy question. First of all, thanks a lot, Laura, and good morning. Thanks a lot for inviting me to this nice conversation that is very more special because of our connection. We know each other. We studied together, so it's fantastic. After more or less 30 years.
30 years.
30 years that we started studying together in communication science at Università La Sapienza in Rome. So it's a special moment, absolutely. So thanks a lot. It's very good question. I would say that the common trend along all my professional experience has been connecting people, projects, and experiences that I call it in one word networking. So I define myself sort of networker. With a special focus, I tried all along my career, along my professional experience, always to be connected with the impact of what we have been doing, in the sense that I try always to have an impact in terms of on people, on the environment, and on society, from my small portion of action possible, of course.
Great. And how did communication sciences help you through your career?
A lot, in the sense that especially the organization and the educational framework of the communication science school in University La Sapienza was based on a very broad knowledges in terms of broad cultural aspect, going from sociology, technology, law, communication, of course. I think that communication science gives two things, basically. The capacity of understanding or having a good lecture of the reality. And we are not technical specialists in communication, but communication science gives us a vision, I think, and a multi-layer approach to problems. And this helped, this special, I realized that after, not during, because during the part during the studies is not completely clear. But at the end, when you started really your professional career, you really realize that you have a lot of tools in terms of intellectual and cultural tools to analyze and find, in a sort of lateral thinking capacity, the several solutions that there are for the several problems that you face in your professional career.
Yeah. No, that's exactly also my field to the studies that I've done, and I remember you were really good at drawing, and you were doing sketches also for a student organization, and has that influenced your next steps in your professional life?
Yes, thanks. Very well remember. Yeah, I have always been by my own a drawer, or we can say a satirical cartoonist. Basically, what I have been done the most. Illustrator as well is something that I always have been done, and that I am still doing. So it's something that I absolutely love to do. Helped me a lot. Yeah, give me the opportunity to be connected with a creative environment, and for sure open me the possibility to know the European Institute of Design, that where I develop big portion of my career. And of course, that was the connector between me and the institute for sure.
And I also want to remember your launchpad in Spain was actually the fact that you did your Erasmus here in Spain. So the
Exactly.
exchange program that allows European students to exchange universities for, I believe it was either 6 months or 12 months. And this is something beautiful because it allowed you to do studies in, I believe, in Barcelona, right?
Exactly. Yeah, Erasmus experience is something that I would really recommend to all university students, or we can say Erasmus, or this kind of exchange experience, that is something that also is not helping all individuals, but I really believe that this kind of experience, this kind of program, promoted by European Union, but also by university, helped a lot and are helping to build on the European spirit. So if there is something where the European spirit, European citizenship, we can say, has to be thankful to, is this kind of programs. And for me, it was one of the milestone of my personal and professional career, because I stayed 1 year, so the longest option
Yeah.
in Salamanca. In Salamanca,
Salamanca. Ah,
so
okay.
yeah. So the northwest of Spain, the heart of Castilla, the most traditional part of Spanish region, and it was absolutely change making to me. Not only for the option that give to me to learn Spanish, but also to change completely my vision, my approach. It was really the first time. It was in the '96 when I was exposed to several different cultures at the same time. And so, from the professional, from the educational point of view, but especially from the human point of view, I think that it has been one of the most important experience that I have done.
And also, because we are now a bit of an older generation, which sounds really
Yeah.
weird, in our mid 40s to end 40s. But back then, there were no social media. There was hardly internet already. So when you were abroad or elsewhere or in a different university, that's all you basically were doing. You didn't have a connection to your friends back home or to the whole world. There was no app that would allow us to divert. So you really had to make friends there, exchange with them, and maybe do sports or whatever. And so it's really something that maybe I wish the younger generation of today could have experienced, because it was really different. We probably maybe had cell phones by then, right?
Yeah. Maybe it sounds a sort of elderly consideration, but that's been just only 25 years ago. It's a
Yeah.
lot in terms of technological development. But absolutely, I think that in that moment, without social media, internet was absolutely at the really beginning. It's very funny because I remember that when I was there in Salamanca, I remember that in that exactly moment, I opened my first email address.
Oh, wow.
Because Salamanca was a very international meeting point, we can say, because a lot of students coming from all over the world coming there, going to Salamanca, learning Spanish and doing Erasmus, is one of the most the oldest university in the world, and with a lot of several international students. So there were there some internet cafe that was something
Yes.
absolutely new to me, because even in Rome, this kind of opportunity shops of technological point were not common at the moment. So I opened my first email address there, but I didn't have nobody to write to to send an email, and I was not even able to do something like that. So exactly as you were saying, it was the only way to make connection was to meet people. University was the agora where students meet and of course having also fun. But I think that in that period we had this great opportunity that now technology and social media are helping a lot to keep the connection, but to build new ones, real one, I think it's a bit harder. Than in the past, because in that period the only option was really to make a big effort to learn a new language, to meet people, to open again. I always say that for me it was an experience very close to to a reborn, to be born again, because I did not nobody there. I didn't speak properly the language Spanish. My Spanish was really basic in that moment. So I had to invent me from zero again, and it's fantastic and hard experience to know yourself much better.
And you had that same experience a second time when you moved to Brazil.
Exactly. I mean, I was like, I think I am addicted to this kind of experience, because when you move to a new country, and you know that because you changed it quite a lot as well, it's a challenge for sure. And also moving to Brazil was a different, because the first one was in the middle of my high education experience. So moving to Brazil was exactly in the middle. I can say from looking behind that it was the change making, the moving to Brazil of my professional life was the very extremely challenging moment of my life, because it was not just changing or moving to a different, not just a country in Europe, but a different continent, but also was a big challenge in professional terms, because I was called in that period to set up from zero a new branch of the European Design, the European Institute of Design in Brazil.
Okay. And when I let's say, stepping back into becoming, director of a new branch, what brought you there? Like, what were your first steps into getting a job first of all, and then to becoming really an expert in leadership, in talent acquisition as well, capacity building, and networking, which is what you do today as a networker?
Exactly. I think I really started to be a networker exactly there in Brazil, but I didn't know at the time. But now I can really say that I started there because there are two considerations that I like to do. First of all, that became a director was a mix of opportunity and also of effort. I mean, there was a willing from my side to grow inside the organization, but also, and that is why I was saying before, the communication side gave us a sort of a special ability, a special skill to read the reality, to read the opportunities, because in that period, it was exactly, we are talking about 2009, 2010, in Europe, starting a very big, one of the biggest financial and social and economic crisis that we have been living in the last years. And so here in Spain was especially hard. And so that's for me, in that moment, I was more or less in alert mode, because my feeling was that to stay here, to stay in Europe was not the best solution. And that's why I was sort of, I was on alert and understanding the opportunity to move in a different, to move abroad. And I felt that it was the good moment to do so. So that's why the effort and the active attitude, but also, I mean, there is a component that is sort of, we can say, lack of faith, we can say, that helped me in that period in moving to Brazil, because the organization, the European Design Institute, was wondering, opening a new branch. there in Brazil. So this connection of opportunity and effort and active mode, we can say, helped me in that moment to move to Rio de Janeiro exactly. And the big effort, first of all, because my main responsibility there was to build from zero. When I say from zero, it's searching the right people, making the right connection, what I call to do a stakeholder assessment, development, and keeping alive the relationship. So this, I think, this need to understand, to learn from the environment, to study the environment, to meet new people, to make relations at all level, media, local, the global government, federal government, and as you said before, search for the right talent to build up the team was an extremely huge challenge. That resuming we can we I, can, I that's why I use the term networking and I consider myself a networker because it's basically not just making relationship, but making relationship, keep relationships in looking for according to a strategy that you have to build.
Okay. And so what does, in hindsight, looking back, what were the skills that you must have in order to be a networker?
Basically, curiosity. I think there are hard skills and soft skills
Yeah.
trying to be more strategic, in my thinking. There's some soft skills. In some cases are natural. I mean, are very related with your personality, but basically, I think first of all, listening. The ability of listening, not just listen people, but to pay attention what people say, to pay attention what the environment is saying to you, the social environment, the political environment. Try to be very aligned with information, with very aligned with what is going on in that environment at local and global level is absolutely important to take the right decisions. So to be informed, to be aligned, to be aware of the social trends, of the political trends, of the political situation, especially in a new environment, especially in the case when you are moving in a new country, in a new continent, or just you are changing your job. So you are, for example, in your company, in your organization, it's exactly the same that pay in a new country. So you have to pay a lot of active listening. That is first of all that inside the soft skill. I think the most important. And as hard skills, I would say the ability to set up a strategy, flexible enough to change according to the new challenge and the different efforts you are called to be solved. If I have to resume in two, the most important thing is listening ability, listening skill, and strategic thinking. I think that are the best that you need to have to be a good networker, in understanding networking as this long process of building not just personal relation, but at the end of the story are relation between people, between individuals, but especially remembering always that you are representing an organization. So that being a networker from the professional point of view is connect your organization where you are part of, with the environment. And when I say environment, I mean all the stakeholders, and it's very important really to understand what are the important stakeholders, the positive, the opposite stakeholder, and the stakeholder that can help you, and the stakeholder that you have to be aware of.
A big step that took you to different countries actually when you started a brand new branch of the Istituto Europeo di Design in Rio de Janeiro. Can you tell me what you were doing there on a day-to-day basis over there?
Yeah, it was completely different from what I've been doing before, because first of all, when I moved to Rio, I did to build up the team, the close team of colleagues and starting from marketing, communication, of course, the educational team, talking because, first of all, it was a school, but also logistic, also all the key functions were needed in that moment. So my first challenge was to find the right people to work with me, to start to develop the first ideas and the strategy and a budget and and basically at the same time carrying on refurbishing physically the place that was fantastic place was an old casino on the feet of the Sugar Loaf, so it's very a wonderful place in Rio de Janeiro, but in an old building that needed to be refurbishing and rebuilt and reshaped it from zero basically, and at the same time I needed to craft the group of people that need to work with me at the beginning. So there was two big challenge that mean build up the place where develop the school and build up the group of people to run the school itself. And starting from there, the next challenge is most important one was to build relationship with first of all media, local institutions in terms of local municipality, in terms of state government, in terms of local media that in Brazil are very, very strong in terms of influence. And because, first of all, we needed to spread not just the features of the brand, but also our project, because the idea was to develop a new kind of school, a new kind of university in a country that, as I was saying before, where creativity, design, we can say, are very, very important. So it was this sort of three-layer of challenging, of very practical one, to refurbishing a place, to find the right people. That's why the talents searching, and it was very, very important at the moment, and very challenging because we are talking about 2010, so not a big development of social media like LinkedIn, so not easy to find easily the right talent, right people. That's why the ability of develop a network was absolutely vital, absolutely important that period. And the third layer, to build up relationship with stakeholders, basically I would say media, local governments, and also other universities, both private and publics.
I want to use that experience that you had to quickly, because we're running out of time, talk about your job as a head of talent and partnership at the Caro Collective. So after more than 20 years of experience, what do you do today at the Caro Collective, and how do you do it?
I am so grateful to Caro Collective because they really, when they offered friends, the colleagues of Caro Collective offered me the possibility to join the Caro Collective, they opened my eyes to this profession between brackets of being a networker, and really Caro Collective helped me to understand that I do the best, they would do better. I mean, it's something that I do very well, I think, or I'm trying to do well, that is making to find the right people, the right project for the right organization. Resuming in one sentence is that, and Caro Collective, that is a very special place to work in because it's a new kind of organization, very aligned with the contemporary moment that we are living, because it's not a common communication and design agency. It's a distributed organization where people that are collaborating are working for Caro Collective are living their life, their personal life, wherever they want in the world. So we are distributed in all the world. We set and try to set and develop the right solution in terms of creativity, in terms of design, advertising, communication for the huge range of different clients, private institutions, big company and brands, but exactly with a clear vision that everything has to be done respecting the work-life balance of people that are working, of collaborators they are working. And it's not easy, it's not common to be part of an organization that take very seriously his vision and his mission and his values. And Caro Collective is exactly that. So I'm feeling absolutely lucky in be part of this organization, and especially thankful because they find in myself this special skill or ability to be a networker. And exactly what I do for Caro Collective as the head of talent and partnerships. I help the organization to find the right people and the right organizations for the projects that we run and develop. So I am especially happy in this moment of my professional life because the organization helped me a lot to find myself.
Thank you for sharing your experience from communication sciences to networker and talent scouter and partnership finder. It's really very interesting, and it could inspire the young generation of today to look at maybe their studies in a way as a levy, as a means to an end, and that end may not be clear today, like it was not maybe clear to you back then, but everything kind of has a meaning towards that end in one way or another. So thanks a lot for participating, Fabio.
Thanks a lot, Laura, for this opportunity, and I'd like to finish with this great word that you use, that is meaning. It's very important, independently of what we do, that we always look for the meaning in what we do. The meaning of life is absolutely related to what we do in our professional life. So I think that the searching for a meaning in sense of plenitude, in sense of to be connected with our values in our professional life is absolutely the line that all of us we should follow. So thanks again for this big opportunity.
Do you have a story to share where the beginning of your career didn't quite make sense until later in your life? Then write me at jobtalespodcast@gmail.com. Thank you.